So I'm pleased to have with me Giovanni Stanghellini, who is one of the editors of the Oxford Handbook of Philosophy and Psychiatry, and our new book in the International Perspectives in Philosophy and Psychiatry series, 1 Century of Carl Jasper's General Psychopathology. Giovanni, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I'd like to start by asking, is it by chance that we've published both of these books this year in 2013?
No, not at all. 2013 is the centennial of the first edition of the book that paved the way for the philosophy and psychiatry, that is Carl Jasper's General Psychopathology, that was published in 1913 and developed through the first half of the last century. It had several editions, several translations from German into English, into Spanish, Italian, French, and many languages. This is really the first book that brought philosophy in the foreground as an essential discipline for psychiatry, for psychiatric practice.
Okay, so what is psychopathology?
Psychopathology is a basic discipline for the education and formation of psychiatrists and clinical psychologists. It has two main aims.
Okay.
The first is providing the words to talk about abnormal mental phenomena. So it provides descriptions, definitions of basic abnormal mental phenomena like hallucinations, like delusions, like phobias. It provides a sort of Esperanto or Koine for persons coming from different approaches in psychiatry to talk about the basic facts of the abnormal mind. And the second aim of psychopathology is to provide clinicians with a valid and reliable method to approach the other's mind, to grasp the mental contents and processes of abnormal minds, and to make sense of abnormal experiences.
Okay, thank you. And where do you think the future of psychopathology is going?
There's still a lot to do in psychopathology, including research in psychopathology. Certainly, we know quite a lot at the moment about symptoms, psychopathological symptoms. We know quite a lot about how to develop valid and reliable diagnosis from psychopathological symptoms. But we know very little about the connections and the correlations between psychopathological symptoms and brain functioning. So this is certainly something to be developed. And even more importantly, we know very little about all these more subtle phenomena that affect the sick mind that are not symptoms per se.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. The life world of a person affected by schizophrenia or manic depressive disorder is not restricted to being deluded, to being hallucinated, to have a dysphoric mood or being depressed. There are many more features that are extremely relevant. For instance, how do these people experience time? How do these people experience space around them? How do they experience their own body? How do they experience others, you see?
Yeah.
How do they make sense of the other's behavior, you see? How do they experience the physiognomy of objects in their surrounding world? Until now, there are a lot of theoretical contributions as well as anecdotal contributions on this topic, but there's never been a large-scale empirical study about the life worlds of psychotic persons, for instance. And this is certainly something to be developed in future. Also because I think that it would be certainly more interesting to correlate changes, subtle changes in the life world of these people with neurobiological anomalies than symptoms with neurobiological anomaly. We have been doing this for the last 20 years, and the results are quite inconsistent. They are not satisfactory at all. Perhaps we are addressing the wrong phenomena to make these correlations, and I can tell you, I trust that by starting to make correlations with more subtle phenomena like those I mentioned, a great progress in psychopathology and neuropsychopathology can be made.
Thank you very much for coming to speak with us. We appreciate it very much.
It's my pleasure.